Let's talk about the paycheck routine, the quiet system that made me a multi-millionaire before the age of 41. And it can do the same for you if you stick with it. Most people blow through their paycheck without a plan, but this is what I did differently. Number 1, know your real numbers. Track every expense, your rent, your groceries, your subscriptions, yes, that $8 random coffee, even those snacks you picked up at the gas station. It's all important. You got to get real about where your money is leaking out. You don't have to get fancy, but you need to account for every dollar you're spending. I recommend tools like Mint, YNAB if you have a budget, or just a simple spreadsheet if you prefer the old school method. Personally, I swear by spreadsheets. They force you to look at the numbers directly without any fluff or excuses. Once you start tracking, your next step is what I call your essential spending. Here's how you break it down. Keep housing to 30% or less of your income. Food should be aimed at 10% or less, and utilities and bills, same thing, no more than 10%. If you're crossing these limits, that's your first red flag. Stop falling into the trap of mental accounting. They think they know where their paycheck is going, but when I ask them to track it, they are shocked by how much is slipping through the cracks. So know exactly where every dollar is flowing. This is not about being restrictive or depriving yourself. It's about gaining full control so you can make your money work for you, not against you. Number 2, building your financial safety net. This is not just some boring finance rule. This is your life armor, your airbag, the thing that keeps you from crashing hard when life goes off the script, which, spoiler alert, it will. If you got a steady paycheck, your target is simple. Save 3 to 6 months of essential expenses. It will cover your rent, groceries, transport, the absolutely essential stuff which you need for survival, but not the brunch, the impulse buys, just the basics. Now, if you are freelancing, if you are self-employed, or if your income swings like a pendulum, you will have to double it down. So that means 6 to 12 months of expenses. Because when your income is not guaranteed, your backup needs to be guaranteed. Now, where do you keep this emergency fund? Definitely not in your checking account. That's a black hole for casual spending, and definitely not in the stocks. This is not the money you want tied up when things go south. The best spot is high yield savings account. It is safe, it is accessible, and it gives you a bit of interest while it is chilling. This fund is for real emergencies. Car breakdown, you got it covered. Medical emergency, you're safe. But a new iPhone or a last minute trip with your friends, that's lifestyle creep. That's not an emergency. Keep this line firm. This safety net is what gives you confidence to take bigger steps later, like investing, growing wealth, or even walking away from a toxic job, because you know you are protected. Now that you have got your safety net sorted out, it's time to take control of your monthly flow, because this is where the real game begins. You're not just surviving anymore. You're directing your money like a boss. Every cent, every dollar, it knows where it is going before it even touches your account. The simplest way to start is the 50-30-20 rule. Not fancy, but it works. 50% goes towards your needs like rent, groceries, bills, insurance, the basic stuff. Next 30% goes towards your wants like eating out, Netflix, shopping, hobbies, anything guilt-free but within limits. And the next 20% is for your future and future needs like savings, debt payment, investing. This is the quiet engine that builds wealth in the background. But keep in mind the regular stuff: festivals, birthdays, insurance renewals, car servicing. These aren't surprises, they are just poorly planned for. So how do you deal with this? Sinking fund. Little saving buckets for the big stuff you know is coming. A bit for Christmas, a bit for the car, a bit for that yearly bill. This is how you break the paycheck to paycheck loop. Not by killing all the joy, but by making sure every single dollar has a purpose before it even arrives. That's how money starts working for you, not the other way around. Number 4, eliminate high interest debt. Now that your cash flow is under control, the next mission is to eliminate high interest debt. Because no matter how well you budget, if you are dragging around double-digit interest rates, it's like trying to fill a bucket with holes in it. Here is a simple rule I follow. If the interest rate is more than 7%, kill that first. Credit cards, personal loans, other debts, you have 2 ways to pay it. The first method is Snowball method. Pay off the smallest loan first. It is a quick win and feels good without too much efforts. And the second method is Avalanche method. Pay off the highest interest one first. It saves more money in the long run, but it is a lot of work to begin with. Pick whichever feels right. Just don't stop. And seriously, while you are paying off this debt, don't add more. No new credit cards, and definitely no buy now and pay later stuff. This is your cleanup phase and you gotta focus. Number 5, Automate everything you can. The smartest move you can make is putting your money on autopilot. Because real freedom isn't about making decisions every day. It's about setting up a system that runs without you. Start with direct deposit. Then, before the money even hits your hand, a set amount goes to savings, and the fixed bills get paid immediately automatically. Automation makes sure you stay on track even when life gets messy. This does two powerful things. You remove emotions from money decisions. You're not choosing to save, it is just happening. And number two, you stay consistent even when life gets chaotic. Bad week, busy schedule, doesn't matter. Your money still moved. When I was working full-time, this system saved me a ton. I didn't have time or the mental bandwidth to budget every day. But automation made sure that I was still saving, still paying my bills, and still growing financially. And over time, that consistency stacked up into real wealth. Number 6, maximize employer retirement benefit. Once you're done, you'll be shocked at how much money you have been losing. Start with your employer's retirement plan, especially if they are offering a 401k match. Here's the rule. Never leave the match on the table. Let's say if they match 5% of your salary and you're earning $50,000 a year, that's $2,500 of free money every year. And here's the cherry on top. The money you put in is pre-tax, so your taxable income drops and you keep more of your hard-earned money working for you instead of handing it over to the government. It's a small step, but it is high leverage. You're literally getting paid to plan for your future. Stack this on top of your automation system and now you have got momentum. Your money is moving quietly in the background, building the life you said you wanted, while you sleep, while you live. Number 7, invest in a Roth IRA. This is one of the smartest, most underrated ways to build wealth quietly, especially when you are just starting out. Why do I love the Roth IRA so much? Because you invest with post-tax money today, and in return, your money grows completely tax-free. It's like planting a tiny seed now and watching it grow into a tax-free money tree later. And here's something most people miss. You can take out your original contribution anytime without any penalties. So it gives you the flexibility now and wealth later. Best of both worlds. I would suggest keep it simple. Go with the low-cost S&P 500 ETF like VOO. A $500 a month for 30 years, that's about $1 million. That's the power of starting early, staying consistent, and trusting the process. Number 8, evaluate opportunity cost of your time. Most people get paid, feel good for a second, and move on. But if you want to grow your wealth, you have to ask, what is 1 hour of my life actually worth? Let's say if you make $50,000 a year, that breaks down to around $25 an hour. So here's the trick. Every time you do something, pause and ask yourself, would I pay someone $25 an hour to do this? If mowing the lawn costs $40, that's nearly 2 hours of your time saved. Deep cleaning the garage, same story. And if you're standing in line for 40 minutes just to save $5, you're not saving, you're actually losing money. And millionaires think like this all the time. They buy back their hours so that they can either make more money or actually rest and stay sharp. That doesn't mean you need to outsource everything. Scrubbing your own toilet once in a while keeps you grounded. But it does mean paying attention to what's quietly draining your time without giving you much back. So the next time your paycheck hits, don't just rush to spend it. Take a moment to think like a boss, because real wealth isn't just about stacking cash. It's about owning your time and choosing how you spend it. Number 9, set financial goals and review it monthly. Here's where most people slip up after their payday. They never check the scoreboard. Money comes in, bills go out, and they just hope that it's all working out. But if you want to build real wealth, you got to track the game, not just play it. At the end of every month, sit down and ask yourself, how much did I actually save and invest? Where did I overspend? And to be honest, am I getting closer to my goals or just spinning in the circles? This check-in doesn't have to be complicated. It just needs to be honest. If you fall short, tweak something. If you crushed it, double down on it. And every few months, just zoom out and check your bigger picture goals. Want to buy a house, retire early, pay off debt? Make sure your numbers still match your dream, because hoping you're on track is not a strategy. Adjusting as you go, that's how real wealth gets built. Payday is great, but payday plus progress, that's what separates wishful thinkers from future millionaires. And the last one, but not the least, invest in financial education. Financial education grows just like your money does. It compounds. You can try to save, invest, sure, but if you're not learning along the way, you are leaving serious money on the table. The wealthy people, they treat money like a skill, something you can study, improve, and master. Most people are getting advice from TikTok or that one coworker who is always broke but always has opinions. That's not a strategy. So what's the strategy? Start reading real personal finance books, not just quotes on Instagram. Follow people who have actually built wealth, not just talking about it online. Yes, I'm talking about myself. Learn the basics, how taxes work, how to invest smartly, how to protect and grow what you have earned. Every little tip you pick up could save or make you money for life. A tax trick today could mean thousands of dollars saved over the period of 30 years. A smarter investment move could grow for decades. Knowledge stacks, wealth stacks, and it is all connected. So don't just chase money, and upgrade your mindset too. Because honestly, your brain is the best investment you'll ever make. One last tip, click on this really interesting video I just released last week. Stick along for more mindset growth. Until then, this is your finance friend Sushant, signing off.